of the questions I get quite often are how to deal with the loss factor or a cooking factor when doing with recipes. And what this means is, for example, if you take something like roast beef, that you may start with 10 pounds, but you only yield, like have a 20% loss, or you yield 80%. So let me show you a couple different examples of where this could apply. To start with, open your inventory database or your recipes. And how you're going to handle this is you're going to start in your batch recipes. For example, this is one example here. This beef top butt, Angus, you start with 10 pounds, but you're only yielding 9. So how you would start that is you hit the green plus to open up your template. You would type the name. You typically want to put these in a batch recipe, and you would put your yield. For our example, like I said, a 20% loss, you have an 80% yield. So let's just say 8 pounds. I'm going to show the pound price here. Oop, I don't want to use that batch recipe. There we go. And this is a 10 pound usage. So notice here, while you may buy 10 pounds at $4.83 a pound, because you're only yielding 8 pounds, this costs you actually $6.03 or $6.04 a pound. Once you complete that batch recipe, you would right click, go to recipe options, and allow this to be used as a batch recipe. You may also decide to put it on your inventory count sheet. This batch recipe would then be what you use in your plated recipes for your actual usage. I'll show you one other example where this could apply. A lot of people do this with their beverages. For example, if you have a soda box, you get your bag in a box. It may be a 5-gallon box, but you serve, or you can yield out of that 5-gallon box of syrup, you might yield 25 gallons. So we'll just say, for example, Coca-Cola. My gross yield will be 5 gallons, and I want a fluid ounce price. Here's my syrup Coke. When you get a conversion that pops up like this, Aspect doesn't know how many eaches are a box. In this case, I may have counted it or I purchased it by the each, but I know that they're both the same, so this would be a 1-to-1 ratio. Aspect will always pop a conversion up if it doesn't know the answer. It's important you put the right conversion in, because your conversions and your pricing can be affected really in 3 major areas: how you purchase an item, how you count an item, and how that item's used in a recipe. It typically asks you twice. You fill it in, and now you can see a box and an each are the same. It costs $60.55, but because I'm yielding, whoops, I actually messed that up. This is supposed to be a 25-gallon yield here out of 1 box. So it costs me roughly 2 cents a fluid ounce. Those are both 2 examples of how you can account for loss factors by using batch recipes.